Hey guys, what's up? Aberforth here. Today I'm gonna be showing you how to bake your material ID maps using xNormals, right? So I'm gonna be using this asset, this sci-fi panel kind of asset, and this is the low poly of the asset, and here are the UVs, and this is the high poly of the asset, right? So this is the high poly and this is the low poly of the asset, right? So the procedure that we're going to be following is that first we'll be giving vertex paints, we'll be painting the vertices of this high poly mesh, and then we'll be exporting it to xNormals, and then we'll be exporting the low poly mesh, and then we'll be baking our material ID map inside of xNormal, right? So first I'll start by painting this high poly mesh, right? We can do that using the paint vertex tool. Remember, we need vertex colors, not polygon colors, right? So mesh display and paint vertex color tool, right? Now here's the control dialog box for this tool, right? Let me just take it to full screen, right? Now you can adjust the brush size here, and you can select whatever color you want to assign here, right? So I'm gonna go with the red first, but before that I'm gonna isolate some geometry so that I don't accidentally paint other vertices. Right, so Shift I, object mode, select the brush, and then I'm gonna start painting these vertices. And if you don't see the color here, right, then go to mesh display, toggle display colors attribute. So I just turned it off right now, so I can't see any of my vertex colors. Okay, just saw it there. So toggle them on and off, and you'll be able to see your colors. Okay, so just paint all the vertices. Just take care that none of them are missed out. And so paint each part you want separately with different colors, right? And I have already painted out an entire high poly version of this, so I'm gonna show that to you. Okay, there it is. Just a lot of hiding and unhiding. Okay, so this is the high poly mesh that I have painted with vertex colors, right? I've given these little screws the pink color, then I've given different colors to different areas that I wanted to provide different materials with, right? Now I'm gonna export this using FBX because FBX carries your vertex color data, right? So I already have them exported out. So I've exported the high poly as panel and the low poly as panel low, right? So now I'm gonna bring up xNormal and I'm gonna show you how to bake this out. So first I'm gonna add my mesh panel, then I'm gonna add my low poly mesh panel low, then I'm going to baking options, 1K map. I've set the output map here, then I've set my map selection to bake high poly's vertex colors right here. Okay, and I'm gonna generate maps. Okay, so my map is being generated over here. Okay, so you can see there was some problem here and it didn't bake out my map. So what went wrong here was that I did not uncheck this actually. Ignore per vertex color. What it did here is ignored all the vertex colors on my high poly, and so it did not bake out anything. So I uncheck this, I generate map, right, and let's see the result. Okay, at least we have something on now, but this is definitely not what we wanted. It's really, really horrible. So how to get a better bake is using a cage, right? So what a cage does is help you with baking your maps properly. It encompasses your low poly as well as high poly, right? So I'm gonna teach you how to bake a cage right now. So first I bring up my low poly right here. Now to create a cage, duplicate your low poly, right? Now I'm gonna give this transparent material so that I can see it properly, right? So where is it? Where is it? Okay, hide this. You can see I have a transparent material on this duplicate copy. I'm gonna call this duplicate copy cage. Okay, so bring up my low poly again, and I'm gonna select my cage now. Now what you want to do is you want to increase the size of your cage a bit so that it is a bit bigger than your low poly, but it surrounds your high poly and low poly properly. So I'm gonna go to my move settings here, right? And I'm gonna change the axis orientation to normal, and then I'm gonna select all the vertices on this object, right? So now when I have my vertices selected, you see this kind of axes coming up, right? When they were object, it was X, Y, and Z, and now they've been converted to normal axes. So what we want to do is we want to pull out this axis that is labeled N, right? We want to pull it out in the front so you can see the pieces are getting a bit bigger, right? So I'm going to take this back to object again. I'm going to close this out and object mode, right? I'm going to go to full viewport. So you can see we've created a small cage, not a small cage actually, a cage, right? So this cage encompasses our low poly as well as our high poly, right? You can see the sides are, it's just a bit bigger than the low poly itself, right? So I'm gonna export this cage out as well. Export selection, and you can see I've already exported this out. So now I'm gonna bring up xNormal again, right? So I have my high poly and low poly already loaded up. So what I want to do is go to low definition meshes, my low polys, and I'm gonna check the use cage option here. Then I'm gonna go to external cage file, right click, browse external cage file, and select my cage, right? So it's gonna show us a warning that our low poly and our cage should have exactly the same topology, or there may be errors. So do take care of that. Now everything else will be the same, and let me bring up the preview here first. You can see the result that we had gotten first, and let's generate maps. Alright. Okay. So you see here that we have a much better bake right now. There are some errors here. Let me bring up a larger version there. So there. So here. So this, you can see, is a better bake, much better than the previous one. You can see these lines we have as errors, these edges that have intersected with other polygons, other faces. So we can fix these easily inside of Photoshop, right? So you can see that a cage is really helpful in this case. And yeah, I think that's it. So this is how you bake your material ID maps inside of xNormal. So hope that helps, and thank you for watching.